I'm quite scared when suddenly this voice comes in. Hello everybody. So first of all, usually there's a big introduction, loud music, but I'm old and that scares me. So what we're going to do is you pretend you haven't seen me and then I'll jump on stage and you'll go, oh, magic of theatre, where did she come from? Woo! And go mad. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't even know how I did it. I just beamed in from a spaceship far above planet Earth. Fucking wish I had. And welcome to the Cabaret of Dangerous Ideas. That was a little understated. Let's try again, shall we? Welcome to the Cabaret of Dangerous Ideas. Welcome to the last day of the Cabaret of Dangerous Ideas. Shut the fuck up. Some of us have been trapped in here for so long, people are actually negotiating for our release. So welcome to the Cabaret of Dangerous Ideas. Don't worry, I'm not your speaker. I've got a brilliant speaker for you today. A fantastic speaker, fantastic subject. My name is Susan Morrison. I'm just kind of like the host, the facilitator, I fucking hate that word, facilitator, the person who is in charge of the microphone. That's really good, well done. This is my Penny Mordaunt pose. I love that. So the microphone will come into play later on. We hope, in fact, bound to with this lovely audience that I have here. So what is the Cabaret of Dangerous Ideas, for those of you who don't know? It's a brilliant initiative by the universities and institutions in Edinburgh to get academics out to come and have dangerous ideas for the public. Because you are the public. All of it. I do wish you were, actually, because you're such a lovely bunch. But they have these dangerous ideas, and what do we mean by dangerous ideas? We mean thought-provoking, interesting, stimulating, conversation starting. That's where the microphone comes in, because once you've heard the dangerous idea, if you have a question or opinion or a point of view, please just put your hand up and I will come to you with the microphone. No, that's with the microphone. So you get the chance to put your point of view through the microphone so we can all hear you. I know that this is a small room and you might think, oh, I've got quite a loud voice, but we've got the aircon running, the windows are open, so there's a bit of noise coming in, and we all really want to hear what you've got to say. I said earlier on, incidentally, that we had people from Edinburgh, actually it was from Edinburgh, who have joined up with the Stand and Fair Play and the Fringe to do this wonderful initiative. But actually, it's not just Edinburgh now. I know. We've had people from Dundee. I don't know how they found out. I imagine a carrier pigeon was flying above Dundee, landed for a bit of a rest, and naturally was seen as fresh meat by the Dundonians, and they ate it and read the message, and that's how they found out. Is there anyone from Dundee? Guess what, is it? Shut up! Because it's the last day of the Fringe. I don't care! And it is. But this is going to end, there's another show after this, but I'm feeling this is going to start our last day with an absolute bang. Brilliant speaker, you're going to have such a great time. Let me hear a bit of applause!
Thanks very much. I think it's so much heavier than it was. My name is Benjamin Giblin. I'm an astrophysicist. People ask me how I got this job. You know, I tell you, it wasn't the allure of fixed-term contracts. I'm going to tell you the story of how I became an astrophysicist. It's also the story of how Albert Einstein ruined my life. And this never would have happened. Like, all of this misfortune could have been avoided if I hadn't tried to give myself a clever nickname in high school. Okay? So let me take you back to the mid-noughties. I went to high school in a small town near Liverpool, and my whole life never had a cool nickname. I was just Benjamin Giblin to everybody. So right around the age of 15, decided to give myself the coolest nickname in history. Right? So with the name Benjamin, you think I'd go with one of the classics like Benny, Benji. Not cool enough. No. I decided to drop the first syllable. Said to all my friends from here on in, just call me Jammin'. Just call me Jammin', guys. It's not that weird. Okay? I mean, who's cooler than Bob Marley? Nobody. But the world just wasn't ready for Jammin' Giblin, Earth's whitest reggae fan. And in retaliation, well, I should say, the reason they weren't ready is because high school kids in the mid-noughties, total wankers. science. In retaliation for giving myself the name Jammin, I was awarded an endless stream of very cruel nicknames by my friends. And they, it gets worse. And they all centered on my surname, Giblin, okay? So they started with Gibbles. It's not too bad. Gibbles is kind of cute. But from Gibbles, they went to Gerbils, and then to Giblets. Pretty soon, people were calling me Gremlin. And then they settled on Giblin, the nibbling goblin. It's nice when things work out, isn't it? What a wankers, right? So, all of this bullying, it instilled in me this fiery desire to reclaim my name and have it known for something positive. So around the same time in high school physics class, I was learning about Newtonian gravity and Newtonian mechanics, and I thought, wow, Olivia Newton-John was multi-talented. She really was, like, hopelessly devoted to advancing the frontiers of science. And I thought, physics, is this somewhere where I could make a name for myself? Because I was thinking, Giblinian mechanics. That's got a good ring to it. Couldn't you imagine someone in a white lab coat running in and saying, look out! This sample of Giblinium has radioactivity levels off the charts, right? So, I was thinking about this quite a lot. But I also think legacy is kind of a funny thing. You do need to be careful what you wish to be remembered for. I mean, just look at Thomas Crapper. Right? Thomas Crapper, 19th century businessman and inventor who contributed greatly to improvements in, you guessed it, toilets. So for example, Thomas Crapper invented the floating ball cup. Tom, you dog. Now I'm not here to kink shame Thomas Crapper. If he had some skeletons in his water closet, that's his business. But I do want to set the record straight on something, because the invention which Thomas Crapper is most well known for, the flush, that wasn't his invention. He stole that idea, okay? Any guesses as to the name of the guy he stole it from? Giblin. Okay? Albert Giblin. My great-great-great-granddad, Albert Giblin, invented the flush. Thomas Crapper stole the idea, all right? Outrageous, yeah? Do you know how difficult it is to make an impact in the world of plumbing? Everybody says when it comes to the toilet business, sooner or later you break or you bend. Imagine how wealthy my family would have been if my granddad had got the credit he deserved for his idea. We're talking about millions literally flushed down the pan, all right? So because of this grave injustice committed against my family, every year I go to Thomas Crapper's grave and I have to thank that old bastard for the fact that when the English-speaking world needs to drop the kids off at the pool, they don't call it going for a Giblin, right? So I had these ideas of legacy banging around in my head in my late teens, and I was thinking, how am I going to make a name for myself whilst very much traumatized from my first experience of literally making up a name for myself? So it was this kind of thinking that ultimately sent me on this path towards a career in physics. But I have to say, physics wasn't my first choice of career. It's kind of embarrassing, but my first choice of career was actually private detective. I went to a job centre looking for a job as a private detective, and the job counsellor took one look at my CV and said, "You're not cut out for this line of work." Like, what do you mean? It's like, well, it says you hate working nights. And secondly, based on all these spelling mistakes, you have bad attention to detail. Not conducive to being a private detective. So let me see, what are the jobs I've got here that would suit someone who hates working nights and has poor observational skills? How about astronomer? And the reason that the counsellor suggested astronomer is because they didn't know what astronomy was. And I said, yeah, this sounds great. And I said that because I didn't know what astronomy was. We both thought it was the horoscopes thing. Okay, so I will never make fun of anybody who confuses astronomy and astrology, because I have been there, okay? So if you get confused on this point as well, I can help you out, right? So the difference between an astronomer and an astrologer is that one of them is an expert in things that are so far removed from reality that anything they say is indistinguishable from nonsense, and the other one writes horoscopes. So yeah, I was a little skeptical about like the lack of science supporting star signs and stuff, but then again, I'm a Scorpio, so that makes sense. So I signed my name on like the dotted line for what I thought was a career in astrology. And 3 years later, I'm waist deep in the middle of a goddamn physics degree, and I start to realize I think astronomy is a different subject. And ultimately, I ended up specializing in a niche field of astronomy called cosmology. So cosmology is the study of how the universe formed and how it's evolved over billions of years. So you might have heard that the universe is expanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, but that wasn't the response I was looking for. Normally when I say the universe is expanding, people chime in with, into what? And none of you did that, so that was a bit awkward. Let's try it again. You might have heard that the universe is expanding. Into what? Hold your questions till the end, please. I'm in the middle of something here. Also, spoiler alert, I don't know the answer, okay? But the universe is expanding, right? And as cosmologists, we want to know how that expansion changes over time. Like, is it slowing down? Is it ever going to stop? You know? The answer to these questions, it depends on what the universe is made of. So, for example, if we live in a universe that contains, let's say, shitloads of matter, this matter could slow down the expansion of the universe through gravity, because gravity pulls things back together, right? But it turns out we don't live in a universe that contains shitloads of matter. We live in a universe that contains a fuck ton of dark energy. Also turns out you just can't use shitloads and fuck tons as units of measurement in PhD thesis. There's just no sense of humour about that kind of thing. Yeah, but we think there's something called